Several people have asked me the following interesting question. Do you have to stand when your Rebbe comes into the Shia room on WebYeshiva? So of course they're referring to a Halachah that is taught to us in the Rambam, Hilchos Talmud Torah Perek Hey, and then again in the Shulchan Aruch. And the Halachah is as follows. Chayav Odom La'amod B'fnei Rabo Sheyira'enu Merachok V'lo Eino Ad Sheyitchasem Mimenu V'lo Yir'eh Komato V'acharav Yeshiv. A person has to stand when he sees his Rebbe, even at a distance, until he disappears from view. So obviously, this obligation of standing when you see a Rebbe could be understood in one of two ways. One is that you're obliged to give honor to your Rebbe in public, so that the people who are watching, the public that is in the vicinity, understands that an important person has walked into the arena, or into the room, or into the hall. In other words, it's a kind of an identification. You identify that person and stand up so that everybody will understand his relationship to you. Another way of looking at it is that each of us has a private and personal obligation to give kavod to the Torah at all times. And when you see a Rebbe who is for you the embodiment of Torah, then it makes sense that you should stand. You should give honor to that person who is clearly the representative of the Torah for you. And I mean that literally. Some people are the Rebbe of us all. Some people are so important to the Jewish people that it's understandable that everybody should get up, whether they learned from that person personally or not. Some people, others, are the Rebbe, my Rebbe, the person who's taught me much Torah, and I give respect and honor to the person who did that. So that there is, on the one hand, a public nature, right? You're making a statement that everybody can understand. But there's also a personal, more intimate statement. It's important for me to recognize for myself that this person is someone special for me. So, if we get to the WebYeshiva, here I'm not discussing whether the custom is the same today or whether we've perhaps changed a bit, because not everybody sees kavod or giving honor in quite the same way. So I would say that if it is your custom, if it's your custom to stand when the rabbi comes in, when your Rebbe comes in, when somebody of note comes in, then I imagine that it would not be remiss for you to do that when the Rebbe came in to the shiur on the WebYeshiva. On the other hand, if for some reason you don't find that to be such an act of importance, then I'm sure that the teachers of WebYeshiva would be forgiving easily about that person. So I can tell you two stories that I remember. On the one hand, I remember somebody telling me that Rav Shlomo Zalman, Zecher Tzadik Livrocha, he was in his house, and he received a call from Rav Moshe Feinstein, who Rav Shlomo Zalman considered to be the dean of the Torah learners. He was the most important posek of his time, Rav Moshe Feinstein. And Rav Shlomo Zalman insisted on speaking to him on the phone while standing. He wouldn't sit down, even though it was a phone. It was not interactive. There was no video, and no one would know. Rav Shlomo Zalman insisted on standing. On the other hand, I remember that Rabbi Soloveitchik was not so interested in such niceties. Soloveitchik thought that, apparently, that Kavod Harav had to do with listening, understanding, and following through. And he was less interested in other kinds of shows of honor as from the students and the other people in the yeshiva. So that while it's true that it seems that not all people have the same idea, but it is probably true that if you are the kind of person who stands when your Rebbe comes into a room, then perhaps standing a little bit, at least, would be the proper thing to do when your Rebbe begins to teach on the Web Yeshiva.